Is she?
Yeah, big, taller than me.
Is
As tall. She's as tall as I am.
Really? Really?
Yeah, it's scary.
All right. Well, Diane, I had to come all the way to Manhattan to talk to you about Honeysuckle Rose. I don't know where I was when you were shooting it in Texas, but you were too busy to do interviews anyway then.
Yeah, I don't like to give interviews when I'm shooting, but happy to now.
Well, that's great, and especially since the early reaction to the movie seems to be very, very good.
Isn't that nice?
I understand, though, from Jerry Schatzberg, the director, that you didn't know whether you wanted to do this role in the beginning.
No, I didn't. When the script was sent to me, I was very much involved. I was co-writing a movie that will be out in October called Coast to Coast at Paramount, and I didn't want to leave what I was doing. But the script was interesting to me, and Viv, the part I play in the movie, was very, she was a kvetch. The second line out of her mouth, she kept kvetching at her husband all the time, and I said, wait a minute. If in the movie, indeed, her husband's going to come back to her, we better make this a family that we want to see together. That doesn't make sense. So he allowed me to rewrite, and I did. And what you see is what you got.
Diane, were you at all apprehensive about doing a movie with Willie Nelson, although he had acted in Electric Horseman? He is the lead. He has to carry this movie.
Yeah, I was. I was for about 5 minutes until I met him. And when I met him, I thought, well, listen, if I'm going to really be honest about this, Willie has got to be a little dubious about singing with Dyan Cannon. So why don't I be a little dubious about his acting and let him be a little dubious about my singing, and we'll get in there and mix it all up and come up with something interesting. And I hope we did.
Did you know much about Willie before you met him?
I never heard of him.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. I know that's shocking, and I apologize to all you Willie Nelson fans, but I know him now, and I won't forget him. I just didn't know. I didn't know who he was, and I didn't know about country western music, and I have become the biggest fan. As a matter of fact, I want to make a country western album. I want to write some tunes and lay them down.
Was it a culture shock then when you came to Texas to do this?
Oh, no, I've been to Texas, and I've spent time in Texas. I just never turned on a country western station. I just never, you know, I was always, if I was in the radio, I play my cassettes and I'm dictating because I'm spending so much of my time writing that I don't turn on the radio. And Willie's not a great TV personality. So if you don't turn on the radio or buy a record, you don't know him. But what I did was, I ran out and bought an album immediately. They said Willie Nelson. And I didn't get his latest, I got the best of. And I listened, and oh, he sang, I thought, where have I been? I know where he's been, but where have I been? And my daughter didn't know him, and there were some other people around who didn't know him, but they will now. So that's what's important.
What about the love scenes? Were you at all a little bit edgy about how Willie would come off in love scenes?
Oh, no, dear. Not at all. If you hug him the right way, you know it's going to come out all
Well, see, Diane, I can say, as a Willie Nelson fan from way back, you know, I have no trouble buying Willie as a romantic person, but I wondered, you know, if you did.
Oh, no. Gosh. Do you mean because of the way he looks?
I think some people would say, you know, that scruffy-looking guy, a romantic lead.
I love scruffy-looking guys. You see, what matters to me is honestly not the way a man looks. Now, I've been involved with some real good lookers in my time, but I've also been involved with guys that say, what's going on there? What's going on there is a lot of heart, a lot of soul, a lot of compassion, a lot of joy, and those are the things that attract me to men. Once when I said that, somebody asked me who I thought was an attractive man, and I said Carlo Ponti, and they said, but he's fat. I said, so what? He's got this beautiful mind and his thoughts and his, that's what turns me on. Oh, no, Willie's, listen, go to one of his concerts and look at the way the ladies carry on.
I've been there. Maybe I've been one of the ladies.
Maybe.
I am told also that you inspired one of the songs, that you actually laid out the title for Willie.
Yeah, it was, we were having a rough time coming up with an idea for the last number. They had chosen a song for me to sing in the end of the film where she was still bitching. She was still carrying on and saying, sad songs and waltzes, and I'm going to tell the world how you hurt me. I said, wait a minute. She said that back on the stage. she puts him down. She can't be putting him down at the end of the movie, too. And we just didn't come up with the idea. So the idea came through about 2 sides to every story, which seemed to me to be an equitable thing, because he had his thing going on and I had my thing going on. Isn't that the way in life, really? Everybody has their own side. So there must be 2 sides or 3 sides or 4 sides. And as soon as I said it, Willie picked up the pen and pencil, and he had that song written down in maybe 5 minutes. I said, but Willie, I want to rehearse it this afternoon, so let's do the melody too. And in 3 more minutes, the melody was done, and by that afternoon, the song was written.
Are his songs, for you, singable songs?
Oh, gosh, I have 2 sides to every story. I meant that with my heart. Oh, yeah. And you know, that's the thing about country western music. That's the reason that I want to sing it now, because I've had a hard time. I think it's my niche in singing. I really mean that. You can't fake it. Country western singing is an attitude, and if you don't mean it from your heart, but you know, I guess that's the truth about all singing, isn't it? I guess it's the truth about everything in life. If you don't mean it, it comes off in a shallow way, and if you do mean it, but country western says it so straight, you know? You wore that purple blouse and you blinded my eyes and I fell in love with you on first sight, and why'd you do that to me? They do things like that, and they do it straight and simple so everyone can understand it. And I am a real fan.
Are you now following some other country artists besides Willie?
Oh, I love Waylon, and I love Emmylou, who I didn't know about. I didn't know about Emmylou Harris. Can you imagine that?
Poor sheltered baby.
Well,
out there in Beverly Hills,
I'm
living
telling you,
living a
familiar
sheltered
with
life.
all kinds of music, but I just didn't know about it. I hadn't heard it, but it hadn't really registered. Well, it has now.
Well, maybe the next time I talk with you, Dyan, after your new film comes out, maybe you'll be out promoting your country western album. Won't that be terrific?
Do you promote those things too?
Why not?
Oh, why not indeed?
If it's Dyan Cannon.
You betcha, I'll come and promote it.
Okay.
Okay.
Dyan, you are so delightful. If you were my next door neighbor, I would, be at your house half of the time, I'm sure.
Aren't you
Nice seeing you,
Yeah, it's
Dyan.
always real nice to talk to you too.
Take care.
Thank you.
Terrific interview, Dyan.
Oh,
Just
good.
wonderful.
Yeah, give back
Yes.
some cutaways.
Yeah, I'll do questions and reactions both. Okay. And you're cutting me about like so?
I'll get you right up.
Yeah, okay.
Give away the background.
Okay.
Hopefully it's fine, because I like it.
You rolling?
Yeah.
Dyan, I understand from Jerry Schatzberg, the director, that you really didn't want to do this role in the beginning.
Well, you tell Jerry Schatzberg.
Okay. Did you know much about Willie Nelson? Excuse me. Did you know much about Willie Nelson before you agreed to do the film?
I knew a lot about his private life and sex life, but I didn't know much about the man.
Dyan, were you at all apprehensive about doing this film with Willie Nelson, who did a part in Electric Horseman, but in this he has to carry the whole movie? Ready? Now, what about the love scenes? Were you a little bit edgy about how he might come off in those? I loved your answer. Well, because he is kind of scruffy looking, and some people might not think that's romantic. Was Texas a culture shock for you then? What about singing the songs with Willie? I understand that you actually inspired the title to one of the songs in the movie. Does anybody else think of another question that I might?
Would you come to Dallas and promote the record?
Oh, all right. Well, Dyan, who knows? Maybe the next time we see you after your own film comes out in the fall, you'll be out promoting your own country western album. You bet we do if it's Dyan Cannon. Okay, I'll give you just reactions now.
You better πάω τώρα anyway, θα κεράσω καφέ λέω άμα θέλετε αργότερα τον φορ. Θα πίσω.
Oh, okay. Are you saying the audio isn't going to be good on the questions?
Δεν το έχω το τηλέφωνο και δεν τηλεφώνησα.
Oh, let me give.
Won't be any audio there anyway.
All right. I do need to give you one laugh. I do need to give you a laugh for a cutaway. Okay. With sound. You ready? Not me. I might be one of those ladies. That should do it.
Okay, fine.
Okay,
That's
terrific.
hard to do.
Oh.